Twin Students of the Sun by White Eyes. Chapter 4. Yippee! We're all going to die! Sunset Shimmer was sleeping in her bed on the library's second lot. Or rather, she would be sleeping if there wasn't a party strong into its 12th hour downstairs. She knew it was tradition to stay up all night, so you didn't miss the sunrise, but she had no intention of staying up. While Celestia made a big public production of it once a year, Raising the Sun kind of lost its majesty once you witnessed the Herald of the Dawn doing her duty while wearing a pink flannel nightgown and grumbling about needing more damn coffee on an almost daily basis. As Celestia once said, the downside to Raising the Sun is that you're always up before dawn. There was a loud crash from below, causing Sunset to bolt upright. Looking around the room, she noticed Twilight across from her in her own bed. The lavender mare had a pillow clenched over her head in an attempt to drown the noise. Can't get any sleep either, huh? Her partner shot up in frustration. No! And with the party going on downstairs, I can't do any research on Nightmare Moon. The world could be doomed to eternal night because ponies were partying until the break of dawn. That's almost enough irony to physically drown in. Sunset faced up. Twilight, Nightmare Moon isn't real. She's not going to attack, so it doesn't matter if you study or not. But the book of prophecies I read stated, and I quote, on the longest day of the 1000th year, the stars shall aid in her escape. And according to what I can find, this is the 1000th summer sun celebration since her banishment. Twilight protested. You'll see. When Nightmare Moon shows up, you'll be asking me for ideas on how to beat her. And then I'm going to do your own I told you so dance to you. And then the world will end because I didn't get a chance to study. Twilight, if Nightmare Moon turns out to be real, not only will I let you do the dance, I'll drink an entire bottle of that crazy Crank Mare's hot sauce. Any further conversation was halted as Pinky crawled out from under Sunset's bed and, reaching into her mane, pulled out a bottle of hot sauce and tossed it to the stunned Sunset, who somehow still had the presence of mind to telekinetically catch it. Here you go! You're going to be needing that later. And with that, she literally bounced down the stairs and out of the room, leaving two very confused unicorns to just sit and stare. How did she get there without us noticing? Sunset asked, quickly ducking her head under the side of her bed to make sure no pony else was down there, waiting to surprise her. Twilight, on the other hoof, had a more immediate concern. How long was she under there, just watching and listening to us? Sunset suddenly had a vision of Pinky hiding under her bed, just waiting until the two unicorns had fallen asleep. Then the pink mare crawls out and pulls out a knife and chasing the Sunset! Who else here is never going to sleep in this room again? Oh, Sunset, it's not all that bad. All she did was just pop out and give you hot sauce, which she had no idea you'd be needing. Just so she was here, watching us. Just watching. For no real reason. Hey, I think it's time for the ceremony! Why don't we go over to town hall instead of laying in this room? And then on the way back pick up some heavy-duty locks. So I got out of bed quickly. Apparently, adrenaline was better than coffee when it came to becoming fully awake. Sunset, on the other hand, practically flopped out of bed, still dead tired after only getting about an hour's rest in the last 20 hours, and most of that had been brought on by stress to induce fainting. She's been so looking forward to a good night's sleep. Tradition be damned! Twilight, we don't need to pick up locks. We're only here for one night. Tomorrow, we'll be back in Canterlot, and we won't have to deal with her again. Still, we might as well be getting going. As they headed out, Twilight made sure to pick up Spike on the way out, removing the lampshade on his head before letting him mount her. The building was already starting to fill with ponies by the time they had arrived. Piggy's party seeming to have died out at some point, adding into its own glut of ponies to the mix. Speaking of, Piggy was practically hovering around the dessert table, waiting for the celebration to start so she could dig in. Sunset noticed Applejack and Rainbow Dash near there as well. While Rainbow Dash seemed just as eager to dig in, Applejack had a determined look on her face as he stared down the two, as if daring to just try and eat all the desserts while she was on guard. Sweetie Drops, whom Twilight recognized, looked at them with trepidation and seemed ready to rush over and put out more desserts as soon as the celebration was underway. Meanwhile, up on stage, Twilight noticed Masquerade doing a quick pose in the brass main sun. While she had decided to place it dead center, it seems, before ducking back behind the curtain. The Ponytones, meanwhile, were off on the side of the main stage to provide music during the actual celebration. Sunset, meanwhile, noticed Fluttershy and her birds off to the other side, and made a mental note to apologize for taking up so much of her time earlier that day. Or was it yesterday? Bah! What does it matter? What matters is that I apologize. Only a new ride like Twilight Sparkle would worry about proper grammar while apologizing. Sunset was snapped out of a reverie when an older-looking gray-maned mare, probably the town mayor, walked out on stage. She tried to pay attention to the speech, but Twilight kept prodding her and trying to get her attention. Turning at last to the offending mare, she hissed, "What is it? I am trying to listen!" Twilight's response was to point up. Rolling her eyes, Sunset looked up, and her jaw dropped. The moon was blank. Oh, bloody Tartarus, no! You can't be right. This is stupid! And I present to you your Princess Celestia! The mayor finished. The curtains were pulled back to reveal nothing. The gasp from the audience was audible. Masquerade popped out of the backstage. She's not back here. Maybe she went to the Phillies' room? She suggested, trying to cut the tension, which got a couple of chuckles. Twilight and Sunset, however, stared at a nervous look. Princess Celestia, for all that she ate and drank like a normal pony, and that even once in the years they had known her to use the bathroom, mostly because she didn't need to. As the Alicorn had explained when asked, because Twilight couldn't leave anything alone, her body perfectly converted any food she ate into pure energy, and as such, her body required no such function. No way, Sparkle. There is no way we are under attack from a monster in a full story. It was then a dark purple mist, littered with what looked like stars, started to build up upon the stage. It soon coalesced into a mighty black Alicorn adorned in silver armor. Her cat eyes glared over the crowd as she bared fangs at them. Peasants rejoice! For we have returned as our right to rule! She bellowed, her very force shaking the room. She waited as everyone in the crowded room started to yammer in confusion. Except for a certain rainbow-maned weather pony who started to charge the Alicorn. Hey! What did you do with the princess? Give her back or else I'll... Whatever else she was going to do was interrupted as Applejack quickly grabbed Rainbow's tail with her own teeth and reined her in. Ow! Why is it always with the tail? The dark Alicorn was not happy, to say the least. Her mane turned into a nebulous, writhing mass. What's this? Does our crowd mean nothing? Did not see the signs? Did not know our persons, our name? Her presence and voice was terrifying enough that Fluttershy, not only scared at just being around other ponies she didn't know, decided that hiding in a huge crowd of strangers was safer than being on stage. Not that any pony could blame her. Any sane pony would be terrified at this point. So naturally, Pinkie decided to treat it as a guessing game. Is it me, Pets? Dark Spooky? Black Bird? Steve? Loud Yellow Ring on Pets? Smokey the Sound Pony? Ooh! By Sweet! Any further guesses were squats, as Sweet stuffed several tarts into the pink pony's party mouth. The dark figure's mounting rage was cut off as Twilight stepped forward, proclaiming, I know who you are. I saw the signs and read the prophecy. You're Nightmare Moon! The announcement caused quite the stir, and no small amount of distress for the card, but none more so than Sunset Shimmer. Oh, come the bucking Tartarus on! We're actually under attack from a bucking villain from a bedtime story! She then noticed the crowd's attention and sifted uncomfortably. Oh, what? Like, none of you are surprised that the monster from your childhood stories is real? We are not a fable meant to amuse a child! We are Nightmare Moon, rightful and eternal ruler of this world that we have surrounded in eternal night! Nightmare Moon declared, savoring the looks of shock and horror on the ponies' faces. That is correct. We have defeated thy Princess Celestia and claimed this land as our own. We hope you enjoyed when you last saw the sun, for it was truly the last you shall see it. From this night forth, the night shall last forever! The mayor decided to get involved at this point, turning to Royal Guards present. Stop her! She is the only one that can tell us what has happened to Princess Celestia! The two guards, showing more courage and loyalty than could be found in a dozen other ponies combined each, flew at the immortal entity, claiming to be powerful enough to defeat the Hammer of Dawn. The fact it was probably one-sided surprised nobody, as Nightmare Moon simply turned her mane to a vortex that shot a bolt of lightning at each Pegasus, taking them down in one blow. Though thankfully not in a fatal manner, as he crashed to the ground and began moaning in pain. Laughing evilly at the amusing attempts to stop her, Nightmare Moon turned into a cloud of purple mist and flew off. desk at this point broke free of AJ's grip. It flew out the window into the night after the departing alicorn. Twilight and the other hoof and left the main fighting doors. Come on, Sunset! We need to get back to the library and plan what to do about this! Sunset simply followed in daze. Right. I'm coming! In her defense, the day had been rather terrible for her, and having the monster who was supposed to eat her as she forgot to brush her teeth show up was rather disorienting. It also made her want to brush her teeth a second time, just to make extra sure. But that was probably the lack of sleep talking. Arriving back at the library, Twilight quickly laid out her plan of attack. Alright, according to legend I read, Nightmare Moon was originally defeated by an artifact called the Elements of Harmony. We're going to have to go over all these books to find anything about it. Looking at the shelves, she worked at annoyance. These books are disorganized beyond all reason! Why place a book about basket weaving next to a book on scuba diving, in case any somepony wants to take up underwater basket weaving? Actually, Sunset is quite skilled at it. Sunset responded. Noticing the look of incredulity Twilight sent her way, Sunset rolled her eyes. Apparently 3 centuries ago was just that boring. She also invented tightrope unicycle pottery making, bungee jumping, the pinwheel, and extreme reading. And, before you ask, I don't know what that involved, just that they wound up rebuilding a section of Canterlot, paying up massive compensation to a zebra ambassador, had Philadelphia changing its official dessert to cheesecake, Cloudsdale banning all 2 of us even to this day, and Celestia making the sport illegal. The live reader would like to know that story. Twilight blinked several times. You know, for once in my entire life, I do not want to know about something. I guess it isn't the end of the world when I'm not curious about something. Shiny was right. Go figure. Before they could really begin, however, the door slammed open, once again on Horse Bike, and 4 familiar mares charged in. Rainbow Dash, Applejack, 2 ponies I don't know, what are you doing here? Sunset asked. Really? At this point, she was just accepting that anything was possible. AC faced up. Oh, rat. Y'all haven't liked. Sunset Shimmer, let's see Hero's Masquerade. She gestured to the twinkle-eyed Pegasus, and Sweet Drops. Ladies, let's hear Sunset Shimmer. Inspector for Canterlot for the celebration. Don't know why these 2 are here, Rattler, but me and Dias decided to pop in and check up on you. Well, I did after losing track of Nightmare Moon anyway. Who knew that tracking a dark cloud of mist at night would be so hard? The Chromatic Mare complained. Hey, I recognize you, Purple. You were that pony who knew she was. What are you doing here? What's your angle? Are you a spy? Sweet Drops rolled her eyes. I highly doubt that. Twilight, but I introduced Rainbow Dash, head weather mare, Applejack, local apple farmer, and Masquerade, a resident drama pony. In Desi an actor. If you want the other kind of drama, you should meet Rarity Belle. Now, she's a unicorn that... I know who Rarity and Masquerade are. I met them on my route. Twilight deadpanned, annoyed by all the distractions to the point she failed to notice Spike wiggle his way from behind the door. Oh, okay. That saves us some time then. She replied, smiling. Every pony may I present to you Twilight Sparkle, personal student of Princess Celestia, and therefore not a spy. She suddenly saw an embarrassed Rainbow Dash, a slight smirk at that. That's fine and all, Masquerade piped up, but it does raise one question. If Celestia's personal student was in charge of inspections, what is Sunset Shimmer doing here? She asked, with a slightly accusatory hoof pointing at the mere question. Sunset just quirked an eyebrow. Students, with an S, plural, and senior student at that. Noticing the stunned looks at the locals' faces, she faced off. Seriously, why do ponies have so much trouble that an immortal alicorn has enough time to teach more than one student? Yes, it's a mystery. Now can we focus on stopping Nightmare Moon? Twilight asked, turning back to the bookshelf. That's it, fidgety pump. Oh yeah! The eggheads have a plan. Now lay it on us. How the buck do we stop bug that nightmare back into the moon? Twilight twisted dangerously. I don't know right now. We need to find a book on the elements of harmony. But considering how disorganized this library is, it could take forever. Well, you guys might as well help us search. To find a book on the elements, we're going to have to go book by book and shelf by shelf. It'll be long, boring, and difficult. Or we could check out the book labeled The Elements of Harmony and Reference Guide, somebody put on the table with a note, Spike said, pointing the otherwise ignored object on the table, causing all the mares to stare in shock. Seriously? Nobody noticed? Give me that! Sunset looked on nervously. All right, then. I'll read the note. Floating up, she cleared her throat began. Dear Twilight, Sparkle, and Sunset Shimmer, twin students of the sun. She blinked at that. We're not twins. That's a stupid title. I don't know. I think it's a kind of a cool title. It rolls out the tongue. It gets you into it, and it sounds really cool when you say it out loud. Right, continuing. Yes, I know that's not a good title, but I didn't write that prophecy. We're getting off track. Sunset trailed off with a snared look at Twilight, who had been so intrigued by this, she had actually stopped reading. All right, we're obviously dealing with somebody that knows what's going on, so I'm not going to start over from the beginning, and then we can freak out over it and analyze it in afterwards. Clearing his throat, Sunset Shimmer proceeded to do just that. Dear Twilight, Sparkle, and Sunset Shimmer, twin students of the sun. Yes, I know it's not a good title, but I didn't write that prophecy. We're getting off track here, though, so let's get back to business. If you're reading this, the Nightmare Moon has escaped, defeated Celestia, and plunged the world into eternal night. If this is not the case, then you've either read it too early, in which case, sorry for the spoilers, or you're reading the right after Nightmare Moon has been defeated, in which case, it's only for anybody! Assuming that this is not the case, however, I took the liberty of preparing the reference guide so you wouldn't have to go through the library. But I think it's somehow an even bigger mess than it usually is. The guide was under E. So, I'm including Z's prophecy deal. Just remember, things never make sense until later. The twin students of the sun, so nightmare on the run. And when the deed is finally done, the many shall become one. Well, you're really gonna need it. Pee! Play, huh? Well, that explains it, AJ said, nodding. Come again? Twilight asked, confused. Masquerade cleared his throat. P and Z are a pair of mysterious individuals who leave notes around town on occasion, with warnings about the future. A pair of predicting precog ponies no pony knows the real identity of. They are eerily accurate, though, so ponies tend to listen to their notes, even when they sound odd. The full-blown prophecy bit is new, though. Great, we'll worry about that later. I found what we're looking for, Twilight said, turning to the book. The elements of harmony are 6 magical gemstones that each represent one of the virtues of harmony. Honesty, generosity, kindness, loyalty, and laughter. The 6th element is a complete mystery, but will appear when the other 5 are brought together as exposed to a spark. The elements can be found in the ruined castle of the royal sister located deep within the Everfree Forest. The Everfree Forest! The locals called out in a mixture of surprise and fear. Sunset was surprised by such a reaction, especially from the normally brass Rainbow Dash. I take it you know the place? Sorry. Know it. Ponyville is right on the border to it. It's the most dangerous place in Equestria, besides maybe the fire swamp, but it's really hard to top a swamp filled with fire. Oh, I'm sure it's not that bad, Twilight said, setting up her saddlebags and levitating Sunset at her own set. Spike, stay here while me and Sunset get the elements and rescue Princess Celestia. She turned to find her way barred by Rainbow Dash. Whoa. There is no way we're going to let you into that death trap. The Everfree Forest is totally unnatural. All sorts of weather happens there on its own, and no Pegasus can stop it while it's in the forest. AJ9. I will lay it, but the plants grow old and make stump on their own. So thick you can hardly move it in some places. And worst of all is all the horrible monsters that dwell in the forest. They'll hunt you down and swallow you whole. Masquerade provided as a capstone to how horrible the place is. While Sunset naturally looked properly disturbed at the thought that so thoroughly defeated the laws of nature, Twilight, if anything, looked even more determined. Be that as it may, it doesn't matter if the Everfree is 1,000 times more dangerous than you make it sound. If that's what we're going to have to go to get the elements and rescue Princess Celestia, then that's where we're going, and nothing's going to stop us. I understand, dear. Sweetie nodded, and that's why I'm coming with you. You'll need a local to help out. Plus, safety in numbers and all that. What? We can't ask you to go on an ultra-dangerous mission! Sunset cried, feeling the panic that the kind-looking Mare would be placing herself in mortal peril for their sakes. I know you can't, and that's why I'm volunteering. So he replied, I know full well how dangerous it's going to be. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that we're going to get through and save the world. And it's more likely to happen with 3 ponies than 2. Better make that 4, I reckon, AJ said, stepping forward. I ain't no slouch when it comes to dealing with beasties. My farm's right smack dab next to the forest, after all. I know my way around the saddle parts, so I can at least get us going the right way. 5! Des chimed in. You had me at ultra dangerous missing. The sad part is you probably did. Masquerade sighed. Well, since we're all crazy, might as well make it a full 6-pack. 'Cause at this point, I know I just worry myself sick. So, I might as well come along as the voice of reason. Sunset took a look at these ponies and knew that nothing would turn them from their quest to help. And so her team would be consistent of herself, exhausted without sleep. Twilight, the neurotic. Sweet Drops, the sweetness maker. Applejack, the apple farmer. Rainbow Dash, the super speed Pegasus. Okay, so she was useful. And Masquerade, who was an actor. All against Nightmare Moon, whatever forces she had, in the deadly Everfree Forest. She evaluated their chances. Yippee! We're all going to die!